So when it comes to Nintendo and their E3 2021 Nintendo Direct, there was one franchise that a lot of people had their eyes on when it came to new announcements, new game reveals, and just new information in general. And that, of course, was The Legend of Zelda. Now, The Legend of Zelda is celebrating its 35th anniversary, and looking historically at how Nintendo has handled Zelda anniversary celebrations, they've always done above and beyond. They've always done a lot of interesting and cool things with game compilations for The Legend of Zelda franchise. So during E3 2021, there was rumors and speculation that tons of stuff would be announced, and there really wasn't all that much. Sure, we got a few things here and there about The Legend of Zelda, but overall, it seemed like this could be all we're getting from The Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary. And if this is it, I feel like a lot of people could potentially be a bit disappointed. So what does Nintendo have planned for The Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary, and why is it this way? Is there going to be more announcements? Is there sort of a reason to believe that there could be more stuff? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to subscribe and like the video, but let's talk about The Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary and why it feels a bit like a disappointment if this is all we're getting. So at the end of the Nintendo Direct presentation for E3 2021, Nintendo dedicated the end of it to The Legend of Zelda and the 35th anniversary, so a lot of us got very excited, but what was talked about maybe wasn't all that exciting. Now, of course, the first thing that they talked about was Skyward Sword HD. Now, it makes sense for them to show off this game as much as possible, as this game is coming out in the month of July, and Nintendo wants it to be successful. The main change over Skyward Sword from the original Wii to the Nintendo Switch version of the game is, of course, no more mandatory motion controls. Motion controls will still be in the game, but there are button controls and a more standard control scheme for those people who are looking for something like that, which, I mean, that's me. I actually didn't finish Skyward Sword HD on the Nintendo Wii because I didn't like the motion controls in the game. I didn't like the mandatory motion controls to do everything within the game, so having additional options is, of course, a nice thing, and, of course, since the Nintendo Wii was not an HD system, this game is now available in HD, so it'll look great on your television. But beyond that, they didn't add anything to this game. Of course, there is that whole amiibo situation where you could tap your special Skyward Sword amiibo and teleport out of any dungeon or teleport to the sky at any time. That is a quality of life improvement that is hidden behind this $25 amiibo, but beyond that, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any additional content. No additional dungeons, no additional story elements either, which I think is sort of a missed opportunity with this game. Now, before we get into the next thing that was revealed during the Nintendo Direct presentation for the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda, I want to give a huge thank you to Satisfy for sponsoring this video. Who is Satisfy? What do they do? I'm glad you asked. When it comes to Nintendo Switch accessories, one of the top names in the game is, of course, Satisfy. I mean, I threw my Switch off of a bridge with one of their cases, hoping that it wouldn't break, and thankfully it didn't. And when it comes to playing your Nintendo Switch in handheld mode, Satisfy's Zen grips are the ultimate in comfort and durability. Featuring a wide variety of options for the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Lite, from the Zen Grip Pro Elite bundle that comes with a grip, premium case, charging cable, and even a strap to easily tote your Nintendo Switch around, to the Zen Grip Go for the Nintendo Switch Lite. Satisfy has a great range of products for all budgets and all owners of Nintendo Switch systems. And right now, over on their website, they are having a huge sale on these Nintendo Switch grips, with up to 50% off of your purchase, and no pesky coupon code required. Take control of your Nintendo Switch in handheld mode and click the link in the description box down below to head over to Satisfy's website to take advantage of this sale. And a huge thank you to Satisfy for sponsoring this video. Next up, we of course had the Game & Watch Zelda Edition, which I think is very, very cool, honestly, and it's vastly improved over the Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch that we got, because the Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch only had one game on it, whereas this one has multiple games on it. You get the original Legend of Zelda NES game, which of course is a timeless classic, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, which is a very fun game. You know, some people don't like it all that much, but I think it's very good. It's just very different from the first game because of the side-scrolling mechanics and deeper emphasis on puzzles and things like that, but I really like this game. Link's Awakening from the Nintendo Game Boy, which is once again a timeless classic that was redone for the Nintendo Switch, and a reskin Game & Watch Vermin featuring Link's hitting Octoroks in a little mini-game sort of thing. There's also an interactive clock and an interactive stopwatch where you can stab different enemies that are on the level, and I think this looks really cool. It looks like a premium product, and it is a $49.99 product, and that's the same price as we saw with the Game & Watch from Mario, Nintendo, which only featured Super Mario Brothers on it. So this was a very exciting announcement and something I think is very cool. It is readily available at retailers as well. The scalping hasn't gotten too bad on this yet, so you should be able to get your hands on one of these. And the final thing we got from the Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary during this Nintendo Direct was a new Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, and I think this looks absolutely phenomenal. There are some people that say it looks exactly like the original Breath of the Wild, but I don't really think that's the case. It has a similar art style, and of course the environments are going to be similar because it's a sequel to the original game, but I think this looks already more polished than the original game does in terms of visual style. There's of course new gameplay mechanics that they showed off as well. Link coming up like through the floor and teleporting and stuff. It looks like there might be some sort of flying mechanic in the game as well, as Link is sort of skydiving at the start of it. Is this a battle royale game? No, it's a Legend of Zelda game. Link just likes to fly sometimes. So I thought this trailer looked really cool, but at the end of the trailer we learned a release window for this game which had 2022, which I think was a bit shocking for some people. You know, I felt that this game could have been a potential 2021 game, but I think putting 2022 also takes it out of the fact that it could be a spring game, because I feel like if it was going to be a spring game, at least before the Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary wrapped up, I feel like Nintendo would have said that during this presentation. 2022 to me more feels like the end of 2022 or the middle of 2022 when it comes to this game. And then that was it. This wrapped up the Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary stuff that was talked about during this Nintendo Direct. Now, during this event, Mr. Onuma actually said the following about this. This year, the original Legend of Zelda game reaches its 35th anniversary. While we don't have any campaigns or other Nintendo Switch games planned, we've been working on this Game & Watch system to help mark the occasion and reflect fondly on the earliest days of the Legend of Zelda. That was what he said before showing off the Game & Watch system. So that looks like it's going to be it for the Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary, and like I said, feels kind of flat. You know, it doesn't have that same sort of mass appeal that the Super Mario 35th anniversary had. Look at all the stuff that came out during the Super Mario 35th anniversary celebration. There was tons of stuff. You had Super Mario Brothers 35, which was a brand new Battle Royale style Mario game that was like super popular before it ended up being removed. You had Super Mario 3D All-Stars, consisting of 3 classic Mario games on the Nintendo Switch, with Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. And then you also had Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which, yes, essentially it was a Wii U port, but it had a whole huge new section added to it called Bowser's Fury that really felt like a progression of the Mario franchise with its open world elements, rather than a linear world that Mario is usually known for, while still keeping those classic Mario gameplay mechanics. It was just an amazing experience that I think everyone who played Bowser's Fury fell in love with Bowser's Fury and wants to see Nintendo expand upon this. So where are the remastered ports for the Nintendo Switch? Where are the more games? Where are the fun games? And RGT, didn't you say in your Legend of Zelda spoilers video that the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD were coming to the Nintendo Switch with a dual pack? You're a liar! You're a liar and a scumbag! Now look, when it comes to Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD being a dual pack, I was not the only one who heard about this. But if you watch my video, you would know that I said I was like 99% sure as possible, but I never go 100% unless I get information directly from a company themselves. A company like Sega, when they hit me up about the Sega Genesis Mini and they gave me the games that were going to be on it, I could go ahead and guarantee that. A company like Retromania, when they said that Retromania Wrestling was coming to the Nintendo Switch, I can guarantee that. Unless I see it in writing from the company themselves giving it directly to me or hold something in my hand, I never go 100% on it because there's always that little bit of doubt. Many people within the video game industry, when Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD were not announced as a dual pack for the Nintendo Switch, were very confused by this. I hit up some of my colleagues that I had talked about this previously and I was like, where the hell is this dual pack? I thought this was a for sure thing. And they were like, yeah, you know, we heard the same thing. So it was a very weird situation. So is there any chance of this still being announced and still coming out during the Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary celebration? Maybe. I'm kind of losing hope within it, but I do think that there is one interesting thing in what Mr. Onuma said, and that is the word planned. They're not planning any more Zelda games for the Nintendo Switch for the 35th anniversary celebration. And I think he used that word potentially because of the fact that, well, if you show off a dual pack showing off Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD for $60 right alongside of Skyward Sword HD, which is one game for $60, people might be like, well, is Skyward Sword HD really going to be worth it? Maybe Nintendo is trying to get Skyward Sword HD out the door before they talk about other stuff. I'm kind of losing faith in that mindset though, just because of the fact that Mr. Onuma seemed a bit serious about there being no more Legend of Zelda stuff being announced for the Nintendo Switch for Zelda's 35th anniversary, but there is one little bit of hope. He said that Nintendo is not planning any more Zelda games for the 35th anniversary, but that doesn't necessarily mean that other companies can't make Zelda games. Think about a game like Cadence of Hyrule or Hyrule Warriors. Yes, Nintendo helped with these games, but they didn't make them from the ground up for the Nintendo Switch. They, of course, sort of licensed out the Legend of Zelda franchise and said, hey, here's another company, do something with it, whether it be an indie company or a larger company like Koei Tecmo. So could another company be working on a Legend of Zelda spin-off game to coincide with Zelda's 35th anniversary? I think that could be within the realm of possibility, just because of the way everything was worded. And honestly, I hope that is the case, because if this is all we're getting from the Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary, Skyward Sword HD, and a Game & Watch collection, it does feel a little bit disappointing, especially when you compare it to all the cool stuff that we got for Super Mario. And yeah, Super Mario is a great franchise. It's been a franchise that's been around forever, but so is the Legend of Zelda, and it feels like Nintendo always does special things for the Legend of Zelda with its anniversary. So to this be the only thing that we get out of this celebration definitely would be a bit of a disappointment for me personally, especially considering the fact that I don't think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be a part of the 35th anniversary because of that 2022 release date. But maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe this is more than enough Zelda stuff that we have gotten from the Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary, and you are super satisfied with it. Let me know what you think about this situation in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to check out other videos on the channel. Once again, a huge thank you to Satisfy for sponsoring this video. Make sure you guys go pick up some stuff from their website, link in the description box down below. Great sale going on right now, very high quality products, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.